Hello, beautiful souls. This is Alyce, your host, and you're at the Indigo Rose Lounge. This is a space for intuitives, indigos, sensitives, ADHD, neurodivergent, whatever label you like. Personally, I'm going with spiritually connected individuals, Psi. I think it's kind of cheeky and it leans into the whole sci fi nonsense. Okay, and please take that from whence it comes. I do believe there are other beings out there in the universe. I just don't think they are the beings talking to us when we meditate. Okay, so today, speaking of meditation, I wanted to have a look at things that you might know but you may have forgotten on the meditation space. You know, a number of years ago, I remember reading this whole article of a bunch of people. I think it was in the 90s. It was way, way back. A bunch of people congregated in New York City, of all places, I think, to meditate. 20 to 40 people. It was a lot. And they meditated in a section of the city every day for a number of days, probably 40 days, because 40 is normally the day count that we choose for any kind of mystical woo-woo anything. But there was a study done alongside their meditation, and it was found that the energy of just them meditating really changed things. The crime rate dropped. People were, and in New York, it was quite exceptional that people were friendlier. A lot of things. Go and dig that up if you're interested. The meditation study. It was fairly groundbreaking at the time, although at the time we were coming out of this period of, in the 70s, mind and body and spirit type things were being studied intensely. The 80s, we started to be sidelined, but the 90s were the tail end of that. So meditation was up as a thing. It was being researched as an application, as a practice that would help people manage stress and help their various conditions. So it was okay to do the study. Wasn't considered too woo-woo in the time that it was done. And a lot of, in the 90s, there were a lot of CEOs who came out and said, yeah, they meditated. Yes, they meditated. And it helped them with their focus and to keep themselves aligned with the day. Now we know that meditation is really a shift of awareness from your physical self into your spirit self. And so when you meditate, that's what happens. But now think about it this way. If your body goes to sleep, now in Reiki, which is the meditation practice I've been doing for the last 27 years. Yes, I know, isn't that a long time? I looked at it and calculated it the other day. It's just really a long time. Anyway, but the meditation practice I got into and started practicing way back when was Reiki. And in the practice of Reiki, I had tried other things. I had tried TM and guided meditations, and they just didn't work for me. My brain was too active and too loud. And I ended up at a Reiki class quite by accident. If you've read my book, you've heard the story. I apologize. And I don't think I might have gone to a Reiki class on my own had it not been had I not been pulled into it by accident. But I went and I was amazed. I was absolutely astounded. I had some physical challenges back then. IBS was one of them. That, I kept my tension in my belly. And within a very short space of time, practicing Reiki every day really just helped me level out, and I wasn't living on my nerves anymore. And then, of course, as you go forward, the experience deepens, and you find with anyone who's been practicing meditation for a while, you begin in one sphere, and the experience of meditation and the effects of meditation do deepen over time. So when I first started practicing Reiki, it really just was a hands-on, Reiki on and go into theta, and you're aware when you go into theta that you are no longer in your body. It's very interesting. In fact, many people have said to me that for them, it feels like the proof of spirit or the proof of soul, if you like, that there is this separation that happens. The body goes to sleep and you have awareness, you are aware. So the body is sleeping, and quite often people who are undergoing a Reiki treatment will start snoring. And so they are physically asleep, but they will tell you afterwards, no, I was conscious the whole time. And so there is this awareness when you're having Reiki or when you're doing Reiki, that your body goes to sleep and you disconnect from your body. And now you sometimes travel around, sometimes explore concepts, sometimes you go visiting. You can pop off and go visit people. So there is a shift in awareness from your physical humanness, your human beingness, in theta state, it's what they call the brainwave state that you achieve, into theta, and then from theta, that's where you now shift your awareness into your spirit self, into your true self. And so when it's that easy to do, when it's that simple, because really, and I must specify here that I did do the traditional Suishiki Royo Reiki, which to a Japanese Reiki person would not be traditional, but it was traditional from the outside of Japan traditional sense. And the Suishiki Royo was the original Western form of Reiki, and so it hasn't been watered down with other people's opinions and their inputs, etc. So, and I'm fairly, you can hear, can you, that I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to Reiki, not from any judgment, but just because this is the practice that I know, and it's the practice that I know works. And when people come to me and say, oh yeah, I did a Reiki class, nothing happened, then I ask them, what did they call the flavor of Reiki that you did? And it'll be some XYZ Reiki whatnot. And I know from having taught thousands, really it's now in the thousands of students, uh, now I absolutely know that there is no one who undergoes a Suishiki Royal first degree Reiki and doesn't come out the other side with Reiki. So I don't know about all the others. I also am a Karuna Reiki master just because that was a sudden divergent bit somewhere along the way. But that didn't feel like it did anything for me. And so I continued my Suishiki Royal path with my own sensei. And that is the form that I know works. Of course, everybody has their own experience, and I honor that. But I can only tell you from my experience that the Suishiki Royal path is the one that is, in my experience, guaranteed to ensure that when you leave that first degree class, you will have Reiki. And it's also time honoring because you do first degree and then you need to wait a period of time before you even think about second degree, and then you can do second, and then you wait many more periods of time before you can even contemplate mastery. And really, mastery is only for those who want to teach. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone who didn't want to teach Reiki. It's not like when you achieve mastery, you get a fancy hat or anything like that. There's no point to mastery unless you want to teach Reiki. And there will be arguments to that, but I haven't seen anything that tells me differently on that side. So when I say Reiki, and I'm clarifying all of this, I'm waffling about this because when I say Reiki, I mean that one, that Reiki, okay? Not the black belt in a weekend kind of Reiki, not fast food, Western society processed Reiki. I'm talking the traditional Reiki on, Reiki off, Mrs. Takata, Phyllis May, Furumoto, Nakaya Wasui, and Chichiro Hayashi. That lineage. Right. So, if, for example, a whole bunch of Reiki practitioners, if 40 Reiki practitioners in a area got together, or even in their own homes, did Reiki every day at a certain time, it would be interesting to see what the result of that would be. You could also do it with traditional, any other TM meditation. The physics of it fascinates me because what I imagine happens Of course, the experience of it is that you shift your awareness to your spirit self, and your spirit self can then flip around and go and chat to your fairies and do whatever. But obviously, shifting your awareness to your spirit self elevates your whole frequency. Whenever we shift our awareness to our spirit self, whenever we connect with our spirit self, our frequency tends to shift upwards in response. So I imagine that a bunch of people meditating in New York at a specific time every day for 40 days would have the effect of elevating the frequency of that area. And so it's interesting to think about what we think we do for ourselves, but actually what we do has an impact on the world around us. It's like imagining a sheet, right? So the sheet is flat, and then you take a stick and you poke up under the sheet, and while the top of the stick raises the sheet portion, the sheet around it is naturally raised too. Isn't that fascinating? On the reverse side, my imagery for what the shiny bums do, because they employ similar tactics, or at least they have, through their own research and discovery, discovered what human beings are capable of, except they think they're the only ones. And theirs is more like sticking a knife through the sheet. So they're the only ones raising, and everyone else is just damaged in the process. So when we raise the frequency of our space, so when we meditate in our space, when we pray in our space, when we contemplate in our space, when we have positive intentions, when we love in our space, we only see us and we see the people around us, maybe, but what we don't realize is that we have an effect on everything around us. The birds, the bees, the trees, the vegetables, everything in our vicinity, the frequency gets raised there too. So it really is a demonstration of a truth that is important, I think, to bear in mind. That on this path, on the indigo self healing, sensitive path, while we think, we can have a tendency to think that working on ourselves is selfish, was in some way self involved, or focusing on our own good is somehow a bad thing. The truth is that when we genuinely follow a healing path, when we raise our own frequency, the surrounding life cannot help but be raised at the same time. And so, while the world got a bit obsessed with selfishness a while back, and it still marginally is, but unbalanced in this view, the truth is that if every human being on the planet was uplifting their own experience, was truly committed to their own healing and well being, the world would be so much better. If we just, and meditation, of course, is one of the greatest weapons we have against fear, which is what this podcast is really about, banishing fear. And when we meditate, we connect with our spirit selves, we elevate to that place, and we always feel better for it. There's more alignment that comes, there's clarity that comes, there's physical healing that comes. So meditation, specifically Reiki in my case, is a tool that I would not want anyone on the planet to be deprived of. If we could just introduce meditation, and some people, some areas have in school. There were lovely studies that were done in schools that had a bunch of kids, that teenagers who were acting up, and they implemented meditation classes, and those kids transformed into truly blossoming young adults. And Reiki is an easy one. Reiki is so simple. There's no way it can go wrong. All the kids will get it. I love teaching children's classes, Reiki classes, because kids are so receptive to it and they know it. You know, somewhere along a first degree Reiki class for a child, they'll look at you like, yes, you knew this. It's so effortless for them. They get it. And there's no question for them that this is absolutely a capacity of humanity. Why would I not be able to do this? This is easy. And so setting up kids young with the capacity to heal and rebalance and support themselves and others And I don't mean support in a financial sense, I mean support the well being of themselves and others, is just such an empowering step. And I encourage any parent to consider that course. Go on a Reiki class with your kids. It's a lovely bonding exercise, and do it before they become teenagers and then want to rebel. And then they won't go just because you're going. Anyway, so Reiki meditation daily. You think it's for you. It's not only for you. I mean, it is for you, and that's great, but it elevates the whole planet when we do it. Reiki is something that I would really encourage everyone who has struggled with meditation. If you heard the word meditation and groaned, find yourself a Reiki Alliance, a Suishiki Royal Reiki Master, and go and do a Reiki class. It's well worth doing. You will have a skill from then on that will never go away, and it will broaden in time. Not today, but sometime in the future. I will have that conversation with you. I'll leave a discussion up here for you on the journey through Reiki and what Reiki can blossom into, and where it goes, and how it can be harnessed. But in a purest sense, just a first degree class is enough to access the ability to meditate anywhere, anytime, straight into theta. Think of it this way: Buddhist monks meditate for 20 years on a mountain before they ever achieve theta. And you have in your hands, or you have access to teachers in most parts of the world who will teach Usui Shiki Royal Reiki, and you will have access to theta from the moment you do the first degree class, which is 2 days. I mean, what could be better? You don't have to do 20 years on the mountain. You can just go to one class. So find yourself a traditional Reiki master somewhere and go and do a Reiki class and just feel how much better that feels. It will certainly confirm to you everything you already know as an indigo of what you're capable of. It will confirm to you your spirit self. When you receive Reiki and you enter that theta state and you go and you have an awareness that your body's asleep and you're now going up there, it will confirm everything for you that you know. So please do make use of that tool. It is one of the fundamentals, and it will help you to access healing, balance, alignment, grace, and your own healing path will only be enhanced by it. There we go, lovelies. My little bit for today, all about meditation and keeping that tool close and using it regularly. And if you went to a Reiki class and you haven't been doing your daily self-treatment, do that. Do it. There is such beauty there for you. Love, always.